welcome back to We Are the Batman. I'm Mike.
And this is Matthew.
I'm doing my Batman impression, I guess, today because it's a Batman news episode. Yeah, that's why we didn't have an episode last week. It's just because as shitty as I sound now, I didn't sound like anything last week because it was just hair coming out every single time.
Yeah.
So we're working on getting caught back up. We will be caught back up in time to still do our 150th live stream on March 28th. So make sure you guys are here for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Mr. Scott Beatty's going to be joining us again. Got some other cool stuff we're going to be doing. But that's not why we're here today. Matt, we are here today to talk about some Batman news. And before we get into that, though, clearly we can tell how I've been doing. What have I been watching? All the things, because I've been home sick for the last week and a half. What have you been up to? How you doing? What you been watching, man?
I've been doing good. We what did we watch? I mean, watching Invincible. That's been pretty good. What's it called? Resident Alien Season 3 finally hit Netflix.
I heard.
We've kind of watching that a little bit here and there. Captain America Brave New World, which I enjoyed.
I had tickets for Saturday the 15th and had to cancel because of this. So
I can't wait for you to watch it. I mean,
I can't wait to see it.
I think it's one of those, like, look, not every single film has to be a banger masterpiece. This is not a banger masterpiece. I just want to watch Anthony Mackie dressed as Captain America kicking ass, dude. You know what I mean? He was good. Like I really like. It's one like it's most films, in my opinion, are between 7 and 8. It was probably like 7, maybe 6.5.
Yeah.
It's got to be a trash for me to go below 4. But, there's only 2 or 3 movies in my mind that are like 9 or 10s. So I had fun with this. You were that
big of a fan of Catwoman, but okay.
Oh man, that's like a 14 negative 80 billion.
God,
no,
so bad.
I don't think I've seen the whole thing. I've watched bits of it and been like, no, I'm fine.
Nor should you. Nor should you. Yeah, I can't wait to see Captain America, man.
I was excited because you started watching Ultimate Spider-Man.
I did. And you know why I started watching it was because I started watching Your Friendly. I haven't finished, as of the time we're recording this, I haven't finished Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man yet. The finale dropped today while I was at work.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it when we're all done here. But other than my qualms with the animation style, it's really good writing. If you like, and I know you were mixed on X-Men 97, but if you like the kind of like slightly different take on some Spider-Man origins, this almost feels to me like what if Disney MCU Marvel got a second go at Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Because everything they're doing takes place it's not on the MCU's Earth, but it's basically like one Earth over where everything in the MCU is happening as if Spider-Man was never involved.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I'm into it. I'm really, really into it more than I thought I was going to be.
Yeah, I think I got to episode 4 or 5. And I think, like, not to be weird, as much as I loved Ultimate Spider-Man, like Spider-Man's just not my dude.
Right.
So like, I think I got to a point where I was like, I'm just not on, not like, I don't hate it. It's just like one of those, like, I just wasn't on board. They didn't quite grab me. So
I grew up at, because again, for me, I'm a 90s kid. So 80s, 90s kid. So like I had Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, and Spider-Man all going at the exact same time. So I was eating good. Yeah. So I have like a huge touchstone for this. And also like as somebody who like played the first 2 Spider-Man games to death. I didn't play Spider-Man 2 because it's only on the PS5. Anyway, that really pissed me off. But like kind of the similar to how those games did a slight askew on this show is doing it also like My Adventures with Superman. Like if you go into this with a My Adventures with Superman mindset, I don't know, man. It's doing it for me, and like I'm excited to watch the finale.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of like the idea of Norman Osborn being his mentor which they kind of played with in the original Raimi Spider-Man,
Little
but
bit,
because it was a movie instead of a show, you don't get a lot of it. I was like, okay, like I think that some of that was, I mean, what I saw, it was like, well, like I can't say it was badly written, just not, didn't grab me.
No, it's fine. It was one of those, I think, had I not been sick, honest to God, like, I don't mean this as a negative to the show. I think the show was mismarketed.
Yeah.
I think the show, kind of like Transformers 1, was wildly mismarketed as like a little kid's cash grab, and it was not that. And I think they made the mistake of letting the cat out of the bag too early that this wasn't MCU Spider-Man. And I think that kind of hurt me going into it, because I was kind of like, oh, so it's not Tom Holland's year one.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't really care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm out. But because I was sick and I sat down and watched the whole thing, I'm glad I did. So let that be a lesson to you guys. Hire good marketing people.
Yeah.
Stop letting AI do your marketing campaigns and hire people like me to do it, because you're all bad at it. Anyway,
and if you make an amazing cartoon and the movie fails, push that cartoon because it's amazing. Everybody should watch the Green Lantern CGI cartoon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
like,
I just cannot believe that show tanked as hard as it did, because it is so amazing.
It's so good.
How far did you get?
I finished it. I finished the whole thing. It's so good.
Oh yeah, and I've told you Razor's story continues in Young Justice.
Yeah.
For an episode or two.
Yeah, I've heard about that. One of these days I will sit down and watch Young Justice. No, I won't.
Don't. I'll just tell you the episode. I'll just tell you what happened. He's still torn.
Oh, okay, cool.
He shows up with both rings and is half red and half blue. There. Yeah. Bam. You don't have to watch
somebody asked me if I watched a cop procedural the night before. I'm like, oh, did they solve it? Did they find the guy? Did they get the killer?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Did the DNA take 10 minutes? That's beautiful. I love shows.
Hang on. I'm hacking into the mainframe. Anyway, I used to watch that shit religiously. Anyway, let's talk about some Batman news, because that's way more realistic.
There you go.
First of all, let's kind of continue to, I don't want to say close the book on the Penguin, but like continue with the sort of swan song, as it were. The Penguin continues to rack up award gold. It won 2 Critics' Choice Awards. For Colin Farrell and for Kristen Milioti. It also won Writers Guild and Art Directors Guild Awards. It won the Writers Guild Award for Best Writing in a Limited Series and the Art Directors Guild Award for Best Design in a Limited Series. And you can see the list below as long as so it's just continuing to rack up the awards. I mean, when I saw the video of Kristen Milioti winning or Critics' Choice.
Yeah.
In fact, that woman didn't win a Golden Globe is beyond me, but she was a tough competition. Tough competition. Yeah. Oh my God. Just like you could feel the energy in that room coming through the screen as people were like, yes, absolutely. So well deserved.
Yes. No, I think so. I mean, having never been exposed to her before, like I've said before, but like, that was a stellar performance. Yeah. She was amazing in that show. I'm like you. I can't believe she didn't win. This is the first one for her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And he's won like 80.
Again, I understand she's up against like Jodie Foster in True Detective. Yeah. I understand, but it'd be like somebody not give it would be like if Anna Sawai didn't win for Shogun the year before. It's like, no, you give her that award. So yeah, the Penguin continues to just die, and we keep hearing that there's this Catwoman project that's coming. Obviously, there's more to her story, and it's going to involve Selena Kyle. So who's to know if that's coming with the movie or with this Catwoman project? But I mean, that does kind of take us into what's kind of the main meat of what we're going to talk about today, which is we're starting like the story for the Batman 2 is starting to get out to the actors.
Is it starting to, or it already has been?
It's finally being confirmed that some of the actors have seen the story. Well, actually, I do want to say, I do think this is probably pretty recent, because it wasn't too long ago that Andy Serkis was saying he hadn't seen any pages yet. So I find it hard to believe, with as upfront as they've been about everything else. I can see you nodding, and I'm sure the people listening at home can feel it through the airwaves. But with as upfront as they've been about everything, like, I understand the instinct to want to not believe a Hollywood person. Trust me. James and Matt have both been pretty on the up and up. So until they give me a reason to think they're even playfully pulling the wool over our eyes, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that this is probably recent. Especially considering the other news we got, which is that Robin Pattinson's confirmed that they are not going to start, even the production's going to start this year, but not till later this year.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned it before, but it's like, I don't think anybody's outright lying. I think there's a reason it's delayed that hasn't been revealed. I don't personally buy the script's not done in the way that they're presenting it. I think there is a specific reason it is being released when it's being released. And yeah, maybe the script's not done, but if they all know this story and they're all getting pages, I don't know.
I think maybe this is their way of saying, like, the script is done. It's finally going out to the actors to look at. You know what I mean?
It's possible.
Like, I think because remember, again, like I said, up until now, everyone has said they hadn't seen or heard. All they heard was that Matt Reeves was working on it. This is the first time anyone out of these people who have repeatedly said they'd seen nothing are now saying, we've finally been told things.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that, like, especially with Robert Pattinson coming out and saying, yeah, we're starting production now, that has me thinking, like, oh, Matt's done, or at least done enough that he's ready to move forward. You know what I mean? He's ready to get the ball rolling. Like, they're now ready to go into pre-pro. Yeah.
So, I mean, again, like, that's also me being, I don't want to say cynical, but just kind of like,
no, it's you being cynical, but that's fine. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. It's just that is 100% you being cynical.
Skeptical. I'm being skeptical. So I'm awaiting for that announcement that makes it make sense. If that, like, hey, we've postponed it because blah, or, well, it's this way because da. Like, that's what I think. Is not anybody's like, hey, lie and tell them bullshit. I think it's just like, we're going to find out the end of this year. Oh, it's because, we wanted Nightwing to be out first, or I'm not saying that's what it is, but like, there's a project we don't know about that I think would be butting heads or overlapping with that film. So I feel like that's probably one of those, like, hey, I know you're not done with the script. Let's make sure you're 100% done with the script before we do this, even though most of the time they're already full pre-pro before a script is done, just so they can go, like, because we want it to come out at this time instead.
And that's, I think that's the change dynamic we're having to get used to is no more of this going into pre-pro before the script is done. Yeah. No, like, because that's you can't make you can't consistently make good movies that way. You can get lucky a few times. You can have a Kraven the Hunter situation where you have a movie that's like half good, half dog shit because you started before the script was done, then you change the script halfway through. We see it happen in MCU movies all the time. We've seen it happen in DC movies we've seen it in all kinds of movies.
What if it's this? I'm just kind of throwing this out there as a
throw it out there. Throw it out there.
What if they're going to do two at once? What if that's what they're doing? Is that because that's the thing I've always never understood about comic book movies. Like, you're worried about this guy aging out of the role, film 3 of them at once. And I know it's kind of I'm thinking about Lord of the Rings. Like,
wait, when you say two at once, you mean two? Oh, wait,
like
I
2 and 3.
misunderstood. Oh, okay. I could see that happening. Absolutely. I thought they were going to have two Batmans going at the same time. I was like, you're out of your mind.
No, I think what it is, I'm just wondering if they're like, hey, go write the third script. When you finish the third script, you do both of them.
That's what they did with Squid Game. People were wondering why Squid Game season 2s took so damn long to come out. And then it was revealed after season 2 ended on a huge cliffhanger. The guy was like, we're filming 2 and 3 at the same time. 3's coming out later this year.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious if maybe
that idea. I don't hate that idea.
Because look, like
maybe that was you're right.
Orange juice, baby.
Well, I think you're on to something with that.
Because that to me
you're on to something with that.
Would make the most. Again, like I'm not saying like
what if the reason the script wasn't finished is because he was like, hey James, I kind of want to just do them all back to back. And James was like, okay, but bring me the script. And then, so maybe when they say the script wasn't done, I love your stupid brain so much, Matthew Manso.
It just makes sense.
Beautiful brain. It does make sense.
It's like, because again, like I'm not trying to be weird about it, but to me, it doesn't make any sense they pushed it back for so long unless there's a thing. That there's got to be a thing that made them go, let's push it back, and that to me makes the most sense.
So I want to take that and read exactly what Andy Serkis said first. And foremost.
Now that we're just talking out of our asses.
Yeah, we are. Well, so back in June of last year was when he had said, and this is in the article from Batman-news.com. Thank you guys. In June of 2024, Andy Serkis said, I know nothing about the movie other than I've just found out that we're probably likely to begin filming next year being 2025. That was what he said 8 months ago.
Okay.
So 8 months ago, they knew nothing. He knew, and 8 months ago, he was like, apparently we're starting filming next year. It says early next year. So this is back when they started filming in January. So cut to 8 months later. Now he's saying in an interview with Screen Rant, he said, quote, I know there's a huge appetite. I know there's a huge appetite, and boy, am I hungry for it, as you all are. I talked to Matt recently because I was doing the press thing with him about the Penguin. He told me the story of the Batman 2, and I'm so excited for it. And then Robert Pattinson speaking to Deadline about Mickey 17, which, by the way, I saw the trailer for that.
It looks interesting.
I kind of want to go see that. But speaking with Deadline, Robert Pattinson said, he said that, I had the wrong article open. There we go. He said, and speaking with Extra on the red carpet for Mickey 17, he said, I know what it's about now. Matt's a very careful writer, but I finally now know what it's about. It's very cool. I'm very excited. This echoes other comments he made to Deadline, which is in that other article where he said he confirmed that filming would film this year, saying it's a while. Everything feels so long ago because COVID just erased 3 years. Yeah, you got to remember, they finished that first one in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah. So
like, when we talk about how long it's been since that last one and how long it'll be before this next one, it's like, yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, it's when you consider how long it takes most movies to come out now, and when you consider the way that the pandemic changed the industry kind of permanently, productions take longer now. And we are finally, I say finally, I don't mean that as bad as it sounds. We're starting to get away from doing everything all CGI, all blue screen, all green screen. We're going back to shooting things, physical sets, taking our time. Productions are going to take longer longer than we're used to. I think
sometimes yes and sometimes no. I mean, the volume has also changed the landscape of that stuff a lot.
It has.
And they filmed a good amount of the Batman in the volume.
They did, but also I think the thing to remember is the volume is now got a wait list. But also I will say people are actually, I think I've noticed, are backing off on the volume a little bit. I think with Matt Reeves, the first Batman, they were very particular with how they used it. Mostly for like when they were on the skyline and that dope ass car chase, as opposed to like Mandalorian season 3, which I love, but they shot like that almost that entire season on the farm.
Yeah, it's a tool that I think for certain things, like the permanent golden hour, like a permanent golden hour opportunity. That's exceptional.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, you don't need the Bat Cave. Doesn't need to be in the volume. Just build the set.
Ooh, yes, God, please. I love. Oh, good Bat Cave. God,
so I think that's where you use it. Why? But I think you're right. Like now that you have COVID protocol, certain things probably take longer than they've done before. Because I know my sister-in-law, my wife's sister, she did a lot of extra work in New Orleans, and at one point. She was like the COVID officer, and she was like, "It sucks. Like you spend a lot of time, like doing all these things to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. You're just like, that's a waste of damn time. Movies are a waste of a time as it is.
They're already a huge, but it's one of those. A lot of that nowadays is because like you got to be union compliant.
Yeah,
the unions want to be safe, and so. But also, I will say. Due to the fact they are so rigorous about testing and those protocols, did it slow down production on the first Batman a little bit? Yeah, because we're still figuring it out. But also, like, they would catch it soon enough that they could be like, all right, cool, you go isolate for a couple days. We're going to go do other shit. So I think now we've kind of, it's just the new norm.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays it's just, it is what it is. All that to say, going back to your idea of them filming 2 and 3 back to back, when you consider the fact they did the Batman and then started production on the Penguin immediately.
Yeah.
Afterwards, they said like they went from Batman to the Penguin. So.
Well, because
I really, really like that idea. I really do like that idea.
Well, because you think of something like they did Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame that way, but you couldn't do Captain America 2 and 3 like that because you have so many movies and you have an entire universe of stuff. You can't even do that with most DCU movies because they all kind of have to. The Batman is a standalone. There's nothing besides whatever shows Matt Reeves decides to make that is holding up whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I don't know if
that's a really good idea.
I just go like, there's gotta be something we don't know, in my opinion.
Well, and I think that also lends itself to, I brought this up a while back too, with when they were talking about the script issues with like when we were talking about the delays and all that, which is, you got to remember, this is part 2.
Yeah.
Part 2 is hard to write if you don't already have part 3 ready to go. Part 1 is one thing because that can just be like they could have just done the Batman and been done. And that movie works pretty well on its own. Yeah, the flood thing, whatever, but whatever. Writing the part, because we said before, you've got part of the struggle of writing a part 2 of 3 is it has to set up part 3 really well while also being an effective enough movie to stand on its own. Because what is the one thing anybody hates? It's a movie that you watch. It's a part 2 that just, like with Squid Game season 2, ends on a massive cliffhanger that a lot of folks weren't prepared for. And in a season that was good, but people didn't resound as well as season 1. Matt Reeves and James Gunn are probably trying to avoid a similar thing. They want to make sure that the Batman part 2 kicks some teeth in, but also keeps people coming back for part 3.
Well, because you also think about like something like The Dark Knight, where he didn't know he was doing 3. So there are good and bad qualities.
Well, it wasn't that he didn't know he was doing 3. He didn't know he was doing 3 without one of his actors.
Well, I mean, I I go back and forth.
We've debated this at length. Go back and listen to some of our old episodes.
But even thinking about like Winter Soldier, like like you knew maybe what you were doing with Captain America 3, but there's nothing in Captain America 2,
right,
besides Bucky, that is part of Captain America 3. Captain America 3 is more of an extension of something like Age of Ultron.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, and also like on that too, you got to remember Captain America 2 isn't really Captain America 2. It's MCU movie 13 or whatever. You know, it's part X of part 30 or however many are in the Infinity.
And that's why you and I've talked about before is like, I think Batman should be like a James Bond thing. Nothing links to anything. It's just another adventure. And that's how they did those first 4. Nothing about one movie had anything to do with, you could watch any of those movies in any order. And it, I mean, besides Robin appearing, like there's nothing that says the things that happen in this happen in that. And like, I don't know if I've said this before to you, but like, there's also a part of me, like, if you don't watch Dark Knight Rises, Batman versus Superman could be the sequel to The Dark Knight. They recast everybody, but
hang on, I'm sitting on that. I'm sitting with that. No, I need to sit with that for a sec. Hang on. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
10 years have gone by. This is where he's gone after everything happened that way. Like it's
don't hate it. Don't hate it. I mean, shit. You want to be real. BVS could have been a sequel to The Dark Knight Rises. Superman causes Batman to Bruce Wayne to come out of retirement.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like,
that has anything to do with what we're talking about.
No, but I think I'm more talking about, like, we don't know what this second one is. Is it a third? Is it a trilogy? Is it just is the trilogy of the Batman a continuous story, or is it that he's making 3 movies? And I think if it's more of a continuous story, maybe we are getting 2 and 3 made at the same time.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Just volleyball, poop, and let's see what happens.
I really like that idea, and if that's what they're going for, I mean, that just makes me all the more excited. Then again, this is called an epic crime saga, so like, I mean, the possibilities are endless. We have speculated to death on a movie we know nothing about, just based on what they've set up with the Penguin in the first movie. Yeah. And I'm just I need it. I mean, Andy Serkis isn't kidding. Like, there's a hunger out there. Yeah, bro. Like they dropped truly like a life-changing Batman, like a game-changing Batman movie. There had not been a movie like the Batman before, ever. Mm-hmm. There had not been a Batman movie like that ever. I shouldn't say there'd been a movie. Let me be very clear. There had not been a Batman movie like that before. Yeah. And people who had been clamoring for that, exactly that, got what they wanted, and we would like some more, please.
Yes,
we were already robbed of Ben Affleck's Batman.
Well, and even
already robbed of Henry Cavill's Superman.
Well, and you also got the surprise side dish of Penguin.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
Like, there's a reason it's getting all the awards. Like, it's a good show. Like, do I love the show? No, but like,
will Matt ever go back and watch it again ever in his life? Probably not.
No, but will I sit here and go like, that is a great, like, hey, there's a steak dinner. By the way, I made these twice cooked potatoes. Yeah, the steak's already prime, but this is cool. And by the way, after this, we're having pumpkin cheesecake. If you like pumpkin cheesecake, I don't know who likes what.
Bro, you're making me hungry, and I already ate that.
I know. I just like
now I want a baked potato. Now I want pumpkin pie. Like, God damn it!
Can you have potatoes?
I'm not even high. Do what?
Nothing. I said, can you have potatoes?
Oh yeah. Oh, thank God. Yes. Oh Lord. Oh my God. The 2 foodstuffs when I came out of all my shit last year was like, can I still have eggs and potatoes? I'm good. Ooh, as long as I can have eggs and potatoes, I'm good, man.
Nice. All right. So I think I'm intrigued still. I mean, because again, even though they said they like it, we have not gotten any idea of what it's going to be.
Not a clue.
Hush?
Yeah.
Is it Mr.
We don't, again, they have laid seeds for so many possibilities. I mean, the Hush one is obvious. And they literally put it on the screen, the words Hush. Like, so it's you know, we know that Hush 2, the Hush sequel is coming in the comics this year. We will be covering it. Like I know we gotta get caught up on the absolutes too, guys. Our live is coming, guys. Make sure you are subscribed when we do our live on March 28th. We're gonna get caught up on all the absolutes. The Absolute Flash starts soon. Like, we're gonna caught up on all that.
I'm caught up on Absolute Batman. I just bought all my stuff today.
I got caught up, but I was caught up before I got sick, and then I was out, so I got caught up again. So we're gonna, but yeah, oof.
Yeah. Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
is my theory sound? Is it stupid? Is it Hush?
You're
the
Long
first
Halloween. Person I have heard. You are literally I have not heard anybody pitch that yet as an idea. I literally can't wait to clip that out and post it in the Discord server I'm in to make everybody in my Discord server go, son of a bitch, that's a great idea.
You know, if I create this clip, because I always laugh when I see some of those where it's like, you know, so-and-so is officially cast as this. And I'm like, no, they're not.
No, they're not. No, they're not. I literally saw a thing today, on Threads, whatever, that said Daniel Craig is no longer going to be playing Sergeant Rock, or no longer playing the title role in the upcoming Sergeant Rock movie for DC. And I was like, there's not a Sergeant Rock movie coming for DC. Yeah. No, absolutely.
So now that's going to be, you know, Matt Reeves says he's swilling the Batman 2 and 3 back to back. And then I'm going to be like, I made that up.
Oh, if you think I'm not going to clip that out and put that up on Instagram the minute we're done with this. By the way, thank you everybody who's been checking us out on Instagram. Seriously. Like, we put up, like,
follow us on all the socials.
Follow us on all the socials, but like, apparently follow us on Insta, because you guys like our reels over there on the once in a fucking blue moon we put them up. Guys, I'm juggling a lot of plates. So yeah, let us know down below. What do you think of Matt's? Bro, I'm kind of like, shit.
Who knows? We'll see.
That might be the fastest you've ever converted me on something, I think, in the history of this show.
Yeah. The only bad thing is I'm batting like -3 on anything I've ever predicted.
I know
that ever happens.
None of our predictions have come true fucking once on this show. We haven't correctly predicted a goddamn thing yet.
You know what? I'm trying to think. There was something you predicted that was like legit. I can't remember what it was, but it was something you said, and you were like, it was like, nope, that's happened. That's exactly what happened. And I wish I could remember now.
I have no idea, but if somebody could find it, please clip it out and let us know.
There you go.
Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And yeah, guys, live 150th is coming up on Friday, March 28th. Special guest Scott Beatty, co-author of Nightwing Year One, Robin Year One, Batgirl Year One, a slew of other things. And we'll be doing a whole bunch of cool stuff. Follow me on all the social medias at Mr. Mike Shea.
Follow me at all the socials at The Hustle Band.
And that is going to do it for this episode of We Are the Batman. We'll see you guys again next time. Same bad time, same bad podcast channel.
Bye-bye.